to. If you're up close and honest, like, you know, your tribe will find you. If you're upright and honest about what it is you really want. You know, you want an open relationship, have an open relationship. And, you know, the thing is, like, he had the mob behind him because he had a lot of he ran into or encountered a lot of unfaithful energies, and they were mostly unfaithful to themselves. So how could they ever be faithful to anyone else? You know, like, this is the connection I feel with this I'll say noun for person, place, or thing, just to avoid, you know, cut down on speech. But this noun, right? You know, it's not a possession. The food is not necessarily a possession. I mean, once you digest it, yeah, you know, it's being transmuted through your body, but it returns to the earth. It is not your possession. Nothing on the earth is a possession. But these earthly things that you try to possess to make yourself, to add value to yourself, really, if that's the mindset, you're only depreciating your own value when you treat earthly things of the earth and nouns, people, places, things as possessions, because everything goes back to the earth. So really, it's just you know, like, yeah, sure, strive for it in the energy, like, hey, this is what's gonna provide me or bring me to my highest frequency right now. Or how do I say? Okay, yeah, what would bring me to my highest frequency? Now, it doesn't have to always be with the noun that, you know, is like there. Like, you know, that's why you venture out, you find different avenues, you find different ways and different nouns to transmute their energy through sometimes. And, you know, they provide like a teacher. There'll be a conduit for you while you're learning the lessons and learning how to alchemize whatever energy, the energy of an experience, and turn it into a profession. And then now you're the teacher of that profession, and you have successfully transmuted the energy to your greatest and highest good on on that particular frequency. And then, you know, you jump levels and you keep new levels, different devils. Sorry, it's always the morning time. And yeah, Christ was just like, you know, like, people attacking his sin, because they weren't all just, sometimes, you know, a lot of times people do just attack you based off of your energy, and God forbid if they find some quote unquote dirt on you, and just like, and have no accountability for themselves or the people that are, you know, were also involved, and they don't go after those people the same way. So they go after you harder because of your frequency, because of your consciousness of what you can provide, the mindset you can provide, the fact that, oh, this didn't keep you down. Like I said, the Bible says, well, it's basically, so to speak, a demonic world. You know, it's like, oh, you don't want to stay stuck here, so we're gonna beat you down. We're gonna keep placing the grappling hooks of your past on you until, you know, and they don't, you know, you do it. It's a school. I'll say it's a school, and just to, you know, transmute that energy, it's a school. Like, so they keep throwing grappling hooks of the past and their interactions with you, you know, because that was the time that they had the most access to you. So they want to put those hooks in you so they can drag you back to that timeline, which is on a lower frequency on the x-axis. And, you know, they would more than just love that. And it's just like, if you've healed from your past, there's no reason to keep living it once you learn the lesson. So really, it's them at this point learning the lessons. It's them going on the journey, because they're the ones who have to learn the lessons of staying stuck in someone else's past. They're stuck in the past because they feel like they can't find their own way without you, for one. That's why they keep trying to hang on to you for dear life. And they feel like they don't want to go through the work and the pain of learning those lessons on their own. They want it to be a group effort, group think. You know, just like, oh, we're all in this together. We all did this together. No, like, friends separate all the time. You know, you lose childhood friends. You know, there's a lot of stuff you do. You know, there's grown people who, you know, just totally don't, like, including myself, I don't have it totally figured out. You know, and like the whole, I'm not against marriage, but, you know, I just feel like there's a lot that can be said when someone can be married for 20 years to a person and have a whole other family on the side. And I'm not even speaking about anybody in particular, but I have heard these stories, it's in the ethers and in 3D. Be married for 20 plus years, and the family doesn't find out about the other family, like right down the street, until they pop up for the funeral and they're in the will, or until the will. Like, the other family might not even know he passed. He might just be the main. So it's just like, and the families fight amongst each other, and it's just like, so sometimes they're like, totally accountable, like, oh, why did they hide this? If this is what they wanted, sometimes the case is like, oh, I can't simply do it. Sometimes it's like, I love you enough to let you, to give you, I'm not like preaching polygamy, I love you enough to see that that's where you are in life right now, and I am not, I guess, the only choice that you feel you want, and it's up to you to choose whether you are going to stay or go. But some people do become selfish, even if they know they have access to that level of honesty with a person, that level of security with a person. They have a real friend in that person, that person, they're afraid of losing that person because they know the value of that person, but they don't show they know the value of the person because they want to engage in multiple parties. If this is making any sense at all. So then it's like, it's really, once you know that someone isn't going to be loyal, it's like you're sitting there going back and forth and cheating on each other. It's like, it's no complaint, because it's like, it's really up to you to choose to like respect yourself and leave the situation. Because there's plenty of, where's this going? Okay, that's it. Sorry, I had to. Weird fork in the road. Okay, I see now. Okay, so I had to make a little detour here. Yeah, so it's like, it's really up to them, and then it's just like, then you put the opinions of other people on your relationship, third and whatever other party, and it's just like, and that's if it, I like to keep it sacred, not secret. I don't have any secrets, but I do keep them, for myself. I keep them from other people, but I'm just a real transparent person, so I'm like, you can ask really literally anything, and if I don't feel like talking about it right then, I'll just, I'll tell you, I don't feel like talking about it right now, and that'll just be that. And and that's, I feel like if everybody had that level of transparency and honesty and just straightforward, like, this is what I want, this is where I am in life right now, and I'm not going for this, that, and the third, and you know where your boundaries are, and then as you grow and exhaust that option or keep the option, then you get to live a more mentally free life. You're not worried about, like they say, if you have to worry about somebody's cheating on you, you shouldn't be with them. I'm just like, maybe it's just something like, which is true. I feel like it's true. If that was the agreement you guys made, okay, and you want to, if you want to, run with that, the monogamous, then yeah, I believe in monogamy. I'm like, I like, the one-on-one. I don't really care for I don't even like people at my house, in my trailer, or anything like that. There has to be a connection for me to do that, for me to really even be around someone. So, there's that. But if that's what you want, then be clear about it. Like, people are too, ashamed or shy about communicating what it is they want. Instead of wasting your time and somebody else's time, why not do that? And if they, they can't get on board, then you know what it is. You're able to better if you calculating your losses. That's one way to do it. It's just like, they may or may not accept this, and they may or may not. Just make sure you're clear with what you want and your intentions. It's just bottom line. And there's if you're here for a good time, not a long time, say that. If you're here for changed my mind, you know, just like, and then maybe they peep some kind of whatever. But it shouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna bust his windows and slash his tires, and you know, that is some weak shit to do. Like, learn how to alchemize that shit, learn your lesson and move on. Like, just learn that, you know, some people, and you know, heal from it. It's just like, okay, face that, yeah, hey, maybe I got discarded, you know, or you know, yeah, maybe you got discarded, maybe I got discarded, da 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 da. And sorry, I'm like, that lack of focus is coming. I'm all in the background with it. Okay, so, and it, you know, learn from it, heal from it, move on, because once you heal from something, that's you learning a lesson, and that's you like being able to freely talk about it to the next generation. And that, like, I miss the elders that weren't trying to be the younger generation trying to compete with what are you doing? Like, that's it's not, it's really just, first of all, not a really good idea. Second of all, it's kind of like it's like, why would you? You know, like, why would you sit here and compete with somebody, you know, like half your age, and like try to dress like them? And, you know, dress like yourself. Like, if that's how you dress, then that's how you dress. If you dress younger, cool, then that's what it is. But, you know, basically, let me bring it back around, because I'm trilling and I'm getting off into the details, because, you know, the devil's in the details, because, you know, motherfucker wants you to miss the big picture. That's the whole thing. The big picture is, we learn these lessons, we make our mistakes, we learn our lessons, we transmute the energy for our greatest and highest good. And the devil wants to keep grappling hooks in you, so it can keep like playing tug of war with your future. Sorry, excuse me. I don't know the whole YouTube cursing thing, whatever. I think it's like 2 or 3 minutes into the video. You're not supposed to, or you know, or you will be like, the video will get taken down or something. I don't know. But yeah, this is for once I actually do get some viewers, and yeah, the devil's in the details. So the devil likes to get into the messy parts of it. It's like, this person, yeah, if you pledge your loyalty, then that's between you and that person, right? And you guys have to resolve that with yourselves. Like, what made you break this connection? What made you run interference with it? You know, it's not like, oh, you know, he cheated. Like, okay, yeah, he's a cheater. You know, spread the word. You know, it's not going to stop anybody who really wants to be with him from being with him. You know, there's like, for whatever reason, you know, because it's also intentions. Because remember, the energy you put out. So if you put out the energy of disloyalty and start cheating, then that's, you know, that's you. You put that energy out there, and sometimes it comes at the peak of your karma, and you get it back like way past what you thought you could handle. You know, it happens. Like, I've always moved with good intentions. I've always said what it was, what I wanted from a situation. I'm not going to sit here and send big signals and waste my time, you know, saying I want one thing when it's really the other, and then hope, you know, invest real time and energy into someone that I said I wanted, you know, less from instead of more. You know, just like, if people really think that they can like maneuver, like, no, once you make your word a contract, like, once you say what it is you want, stand on that. Like, don't say, oh, you don't want anything serious, and then trying to claim the person as your girlfriend or boyfriend. You know, just like, that's how you get screwed over, and that's how you get your feelings hurt. You know, because, okay, so you don't want anything serious. Now you have basically what you want. You have the freedom to move how you want to move, and someone who is there for you. So that's how people really end up falling in love with people they weren't trying to be serious with, right? So, yeah, the devil's in the details. You know, the big picture is, I said that this. So if you want to do this, you know, like they say, doing what, like, wifey things for a F-boy, stuff like that. But it's just like, that's just your love language. And, you know, it's just like, you have to understand that if you're getting this, I don't want anything serious. If you're a long-term relationship person, or, you know, yeah, long-term relationship person with a non-committal, and you're trying to build and establish, you know, you can't, you know, and that's their mindset. fulfilled, you know, into not having hands-on experience, first of all, and then money spending to get the degree, and then money trying to pay it off at an entry-level position. So, you know, I trailed off in that education. Yeah, I know I just did that from relationship to, but it's still a relationship nonetheless. You know, it's like how you commit, you know, to something that was never meant to, you know, be long-term, never meant to benefit you, how you're able to transmute that if you know, you take some lessons. I don't call them losses, I like to call them lessons. Yeah, it's just like a lot of people were lost because they were like, oh, the details. It's just like the big picture is we all want to live in peace, you know, or you would guess say that people would if they're not demonic, you know, and people want to achieve their greatest and highest good and was, you know, live their best life, not the life that they saw on TV, you know, with the TV commercials selling Tonka toys, you know, the picture perfect family, this, that, and the third. It's like there's no such thing as picture perfect if it isn't true to you. There's no such thing. The most beautiful thing to me is somebody being their authentic self, being true to them. You know, like just be you, live your life, live your journey. There's gonna be people that are gonna sit around because they're stuck, and you know, maybe they have, you know, ugliness in their heart and soul, and they can't see past, like, you know, being critical of people's mistakes. You know, but it's like, it's very narcissistic and it's very sad. It's a sad existence to live because, you know, find some happiness, man. Find a way that's authentically you and within your spectrum, and, you know, to broaden your spectrum, because if you find things within your spectrum and you start to stretch a little, that's how you broaden the spectrum of knowledge or whatever else, you know, to your wish fulfillment. And your happiness, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it's just like you get closer and closer to your purpose and your wish fulfillment in your own life, not somebody else's life. Sitting around judging other people's ain't gonna do shit for you. Like, I'm telling you right now, I've seen it happen. Like, people just, like in my own family, people just like turn into statues. They turn into pillars of salt because they were stuck in somebody else, stuck in a had days where I accidentally fasted on, had a 24-hour fast or 36, you know, because I'd be just that busy, like pulling, you know, working 2 shifts a day. Yeah, but I would be doing like work that was not in the kitchen, or like it would be a bunch of fried food around, and I just, you know, wasn't interested, and just went ahead. I would rather be without than ingest that day. You know, some days it's cool. You know, things don't, the grease doesn't look old or, you know, overpowering to the plate and or the boats, and yeah. So but yeah, a lot of people get left in the past because they want, like I do, like when I post my location, like where I was, if I post it, or when I make these videos, I wait, you know, I wait until way later if I'm gonna put anything up on the internet in regards to location. So, you know, anything they're attacking, you know, that's not just, the only reason I do it is just like right now, this is just what works. You know, if I want to do some lives and I get some viewers or subscribers, you know, more or whatever, viewers, subscribers, then cool. I have no issue with, you know, going live. But right now, this is, you know, this is what works, because, you know. But anyways, posting, you know, in the future of what you already did only leaves the past for people to attack. So anything they attack on these videos is the fucking past. Like, you know, people are trying to act like they're not on my Facebook hardcore, you know, they're just like, and, you know, they'll wait a week, you know, it's just like real sneaky energy. They'll wait like a week and then, or 2, and then come back and have something to say about it, like they weren't on it every day for the past week, seeing, you know, new and fresh content, new and fresh posts from me. Okay, cool. You know, I get it. You know, and sometimes you gotta code switch on them. You know, and then when I code switch on them, that's what they hold on to. So I code switch it to something that is on a, it sounds like it's on a lower frequency. You know, which, you know, depending on what energy I am in while using these words and this dialect and this vernacular, right? Then I can be on a lower frequency. It's just a matter of the energy you're in. So, you know, I could say like the most heinous thing, and, you know, people will be like, you know, in a certain type of energy. Like I've had some people say some wild stuff to me, but it's like kind of like they had like Asperger's or something, and I didn't, you know, I just took it for what it was. This person has no expression behind it. That's just what it is. You know, they like, the intentions are, you know, very direct, straightforward, and pure. You know, like, even though you don't like the fact that they didn't smile when they said it or whatever, you know, you don't like the facial expressions, that doesn't mean that they have ill intentions. And you know, that's the thing that gets in the way of a lot, like people making it, oh, this person didn't say hi to me, and like, just weak sauce. Like, seriously, like, what grown person is really like distraught, like it's acting like it's a life-ending event that somebody didn't look at them or say hi to them? Seriously, somebody with an agenda, somebody malicious, because nobody cares that much. Most people don't care if you don't even acknowledge them. It's just like, even in a work situation, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm here to help, you know, like, do you got my back? I got your back. Cool, let's get this money, you know, on this shift and go home. You know, it's like all that. There's a lot of stuff that just isn't necessary, that people, you know, will entertain the devil in the details. Like, okay, you know, and they try to cloak that with getting a bunch of different energies on it to try to dilute and distort what their real intentions are when they do things like that. And, you know, I understand why, you know, Jesus just went and traveled the world for, you know, basically the rest of his life, depending on how long they lived back then. And just like people there we go. That's what I'm saying I like is, don't miss the message looking for the mess. And a lot of people, they love mess. They want a pigsty. You know, it's like, at that point, if they love mess, then you're casting your pearls before swine, because like I said, they love a pigsty. You know, their minds are a pigsty. That's what you're doing, casting your pearls before swine. And that's what, you know, I feel like Christ may have been doing, because it's like you got the whole mob mentality over oh boy, that's a lot going into one lane and they're just trying not to let people over. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Okay, anyways, another distraction. That's a devil in the details moment right there. And somebody trying to be in some mess, like trying to start road rage on the road behind me for some whatever reason. Yeah, so you know, like people felt entitled to the energy, and people felt entitled to that energy, and people, you know, they just got caught up, and it's just like, okay, so you're gonna just, you know, be free from us and keep going on about your business, and you know, leave us to all this misery we've created for ourselves, and you know, you're just gonna be out here living free and giving us these messages and waking them up. So I can see where it would be frustrating, because they want to tie their inheritances to mess. They want to tie their inheritance to earthly things, and you know, the devil, basically, things that don't matter. If it's not free flowing, it's not good energy. It's blockage. That's all it is. I think that's about the summary of it. And yeah, it's just like a weaker mindset. So they refuse to. They have mental atrophy, basically, because people really don't. You know, they rather gossip and repeat recycled information. That's what a narcissist loves. They love just recycled information. Like, they will bring back stuff from the past like nobody's business, and like, oh, aren't you just talking about that last week though? Like, okay, that already passed like 20 years ago, and here you are bringing it up, trying to make this person feel some kind of way because you can't find anything wrong with them right now, except for maybe something superficial, which is, you know, your own personal preference. So you gotta understand, these people's minds, man, are like, you know, I can't be around a bunch of jokes because I'll never be focused. You know, it's basically what the energy was of the resurrection, and just leaving and going on and just doing, you know, living a free-flowing life, and just giving, living, loving, teaching, and yeah, living, loving, teaching, showing love, providing, being of servitude to the people that he was healing as well. So it's kind of like, you know, he lived a true healer's life. Like, rough start, but once you learn your lessons of being a healer and trying to heal ungrateful people and trying to heal swine, that's why they say don't eat of swine. I don't know if that is necessarily when they made dietary restrictions in the Bible and these books, if that's what it truly meant. You know, like, don't eat of the swine, don't, you know, eat of the fish or the fowl of the air. And it's just like, you know, don't drink from that cup, like the fowl of the air, you know, like bird bitches basically sitting around gossiping, and don't drink from that cup, don't eat that, you know, just like that will be poison to you. And that's in the spiritual realm too. It's like, if you're, you know, eating swine, you know, it has a very high salt content, you know, unless you're eating like something that eats off the land. If you're like eating city pork, then yeah, it has a high salt content. It's just not, it gives me headaches. I can't do it. So if I'm in Hawaii, I will eat pork, like I will eat wild boar. But, you know, I think eating is like, you know, don't break bread with these people, like the swine, the fowl. Don't break bread with them, because all they're going to do is take flight and then keep coming back, you know, for more. Or they're going to go and they're going to like destroy everything you have for the next meal until they get back to your meal again, and you know, they're satiated, and then it's just like, that's all they do. They're just in a vicious cycle. They don't realize, you know, that what they're doing is leaving behind pearls. They just want the things that are instant gratification. Just like, oh yeah, take it back to the other birds, you know, feed the nest with the scraps and just ignore the pearls. So what would be the point, you know, when the pearls are, you know, the ultimate like superfood or something like that in the mind? Like, okay, it's kind of like teach a man to fish type situation. So you give a man fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish, he eats for the rest of his life. You know, these people don't want to learn how to fish. They want to sit, you know, they just want to be swine, which, okay, cool. Like, do you make your choice, but don't try to stagnate other people because they start doing better than you because they chose not to be swine. They chose to learn for themselves. They chose to learn their lessons and not be stuck in the past while you sit there and try to crack whips on them because of the mistake they made. Okay, that was their mistake with somebody that may not have anything to do with you, you know. And you know, it's just a sad thing to try to shame somebody. It's like, why were you even sitting there paying attention to it? It's really embarrassing for the person that runs around and does it, because it's like you have that little self-control. You know, like we have our moments of lack of self-control, don't get me wrong, but to run around and try to make a huge deal and try to like influence other people based off a bad decision without the people actually getting to know who the person is, yeah, that's only gonna come back on you. Yeah, so like me, I have, you know, basically quite literally, apart from this traffic, created my own heaven on earth with the knowledge that I have, you know. And I've always been content like not having anybody there, but you know, like I got soul groups coming into play and everything like that. They're coming into, you know, soul tribe vibes. So, you know, who's for you is gonna come. So the devil in the details will have you stuck in your head like, oh, why did they do this? You know, oh, you're so heartbroken. Let me go back and try again. You get your heart broken 30 times by the same person. It's just like, that's not what it is. It's just like, look, if you doing wrong and you know it's wrong, you know, be ready to suffer the consequences and move on. You know, it's like, it's really not as hard as people try to make it seem. You know, they try to make it